Well, hello everyone. Hello again, Rick. Good to see you. I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to give you much in the way of operating the aeroplane in the IFR environment at this rate. So here we are, stat on sand 1-4 at Stansted, which was the last place we were left, having done some circuits here. Last time it was towered. When I initially planned this, sort of 20 minutes ago, Stansted was covered. Cardiff is still covered. Gloucester, which we'll be going over, has got tower on as well, even though we'll be going over their ATZ. I might give them a call, although we don't have a lot of time to get between the two. And London Centre has just come on, but it's London Central, which I'm not sure covers up here. Anyway, Southend is open, London City, Thames Radar's open, Luton's open. We probably should have left from Luton. Nice short runway there. Echo Golf Tango Kilo is Oxford, and Oxford has got Oxford Approach, so actually we might have a chat to them en route. I've got a plog for this route. We are going from London Stansted to the Audley End Railway Station VRP, which is a left turn after departure, then overhead Henlow, then direct to Gloucester, and then direct to Cardiff. The en route time should be 36 minutes, and I'm sorry I can't bring that up on screen and show you, but that is where we are going. So I don't think London covers this. Let me just check. I've got a browser open for the stream in the chat as well, so I can VATSIM UK area sectors. Oh, London Centre does. So London Centre does. So I guess we'd better tune to them. So there's Unicom 127.1. Now they may give us a slightly different departure out of here, which will be interesting. So this may confuse them somewhat. Anyway, as usual, the aeroplane is completely cold and dark. I've just got the fueling up to 15 tons just to save a little bit of time. So let's run through and get the aeroplane powered up. Battery can come on.
0320 X-ray, London Control, hello, 5 radar heading 0.
He's going to be busy, so let me just turn that off just for a second. I've just knocked the frequency over one digit. The emergency exit lights can come on. The position and strobe is already on, and so we can apply AC power to the aeroplane. Let's get the IRSs aligned. Not that we're going to be using them, but we do need them for attitude information. So how are you today, Rick? I hope you're well. Thanks for joining. And have you got any questions? I mean, this is just really sort of me having some VFR flying fun with the potential that it may keep my mind sharp for when we actually get back to doing some real VFR flying, seeing as it's been glorious the last, well, for the whole of the lockdown, disappointingly. So I've had no chance to do any flying, and this is something of a challenge because it's a handful flying the aeroplane accurately. As we saw yesterday, trying to trim the aeroplane for a height is a challenge for some reason. It's not. I honestly don't think it is due to ability. I think maybe the trim that I've got assigned is not just quite not fine enough. Fuel's fine. We might do a single engine approach or two, but I think Cardiff is a bit short. So what we might do is go to Cardiff, and then I'll quickly replan another route, generate a plug for it, and then we'll just head off to Manchester or somewhere else, depends on where you want to go, but it will be VFR again. Our cruise will be 2,500 feet. We are going west, so it should be even, and then add 500 feet for VFR, and the MSA at Cardiff is the highest at 2,300, so we're above MSA for everything. Power's on, IV and KV till are on. Belts are all off. Ignition to the right. Diff is 0. Front doors open. Pumps can come on. Window heat can come on. Trim air can come on. Set the overhead. Pressurization 2.5 on there. The elevation at Cardiff is 220 feet. So we'll go to 200 and that's the overhead, very roughly set up. Ready to go, flying the airplane with the autopilot's going very well. Good. I'm glad to hear that, Rick. And just the one mistake that a lot of new pilots make is they think that everything is done on the autopilot and that the autopilot flies the airplane. And it's just a tool. It's just a tool to minimise your workload because, as you've seen, it's pretty difficult to do to hand fly the airplane accurately, especially in an IFR environment. Although, of course, you can do it, but it is quite tiring. It's quite tiring flying at VFR as well. So the autopilot is just a tool, but you need to be able to emulate it as required. So we've got hydraulic pressure there. I'm going to set the VFR squawk down here, set the radios, and we are good to go. We are still fueling. So it's 04 at standstill. I'm just checking to see if there's nothing. There's Luton Natis, Go Golf Lima Charlie, London City, and Mike Charlie is Southend. So let's get the weather for Stansted, which I can actually get from Sky Demon as well. And you can see there 050 at 15 knots, 10k, broken clouds, which is the cloud ceiling at 3,900 feet, temperature of 10, dew point of 0, and QNH1028. So because we've got ATIS, we can set that already. Well, because we've got the meta in actual fact. And if I have a look at SkyDemon on the iPad with live real-world weather as we speak, for some reason it's giving us, what is it giving us, City and Southend? So 050, 10, 0, 50% humidity. So it works out what the relative humidity is from that. QNH1028. So it is entirely accurate, and hopefully that is reflected in the sim. What I will do is put in the Cardiff, Echo Golf, Foxtrot, Foxtrot. The runway at Cardiff is shorter, so you might struggle with touch and goes. But I'm sure I've done them there before. And that's the Cardiff Auto ATIS 070, 18 knots. So there's a fair old bit of wind. And 1026, so you can leave that stored and update it on the way. So anyway, onto the FMC while we're still fueling up. Echo Golf Sierra Sierra. I think we're at stand 14. So GPS left can go in. Now we're going to Echo Golf Foxtrot Foxtrot, and it's about the same time in reality, my friend tells me, for this trip, if you do it via airways, so going up and down. Might be a little bit fuel efficient, but this will certainly be a bit more fun. We're not going to put. I don't think we can put aerodromes in that. And anyway, I don't want a purple line to follow. So our zero fuel weight there. Let's say about 2 tons en route. Not that it's going to make any difference. And reserves of 5. Cost index. Just putting in some generic figures here, and 2,500. Cruise wind, I'm just having a look, is going to be something like an average of 0.55 at 2.5. And that's just looking at the leg winds and guesstimating between the two. It's all pretty academic anyway. So N1 limit, we're not going to do any select temperature, but what I am going to do is pop a takeoff D rate on for both. 22k gives us 90%, which should be sort of all we need. It's going to be a flat 5 departure. We said that the weather was going to be, so the wind here 05015, and as you know I am not doing any performance takeoff here, which don't do in reality. Make sure you get a calculator and do it. There are free ones available. That'll give us our CG. Maybe not particularly accurate, although we have almost finished fueling. So I'm just going to take those as rough ballpark figures. I think it was 140 yesterday, but we have got a bit of wind. So, as I said, 2.5 is going to be our planned cruise. Let's just have a look at the aerodrome chart for Stansted, because I am going to need those. So, airport, that'll do us. Parking stands as well. So, it's 043 for the runway heading. And then, hopefully we'll go toward the end. We could go to Barkway VOR, which is pretty much where we want to be. But we don't really need anything more than our initial heading. It's going to be 277 for the first leg, and then 267. I got that right. 277, then 267. So let me put 277 over here to remind me. And then from Henlow to Gloucester, it's 267. 70 miles, 15 minutes is what my route plan has got for me. So no nav aids, we'll have the airports on, although even that is cheating a little bit. Airplane IRSs are aligned, so we can pop the flight directors on. The airplane is now fueled, so let's get all the pumps on. Let's get the APU started and start getting ready for our departure. Nothing else to check on the overhead. We'll wait for the AC to start up before we shut the door. And let's have a listen to London.
London, Lufthansa 55 kilo, this is flight level 290. Lufthansa 55 kilo, London control for level 10, Bravo Golf, for arrival descent, flight level 140, to be level by Amsterdam. Everyone on the flight, could you say the altitude again for 5 kilo? Flight level 140, level by Amsterdam. Flight level 140, level by Amsterdam, Lufthansa 55 kilo, thank you.
Hello John, happy Monday, thanks for joining. I'll just turn that off just so you can make sure you can hear me. It's not just that, it's a bit distracting for me because it's quite loud. I need it relatively loud in the headset. Thanks for joining. I haven't done any prep for this that I could show you anyway, so the next flight today I will do one later on. It might be a night flight. I like to do daytime at the moment to make best use of the Ortho, but I will either as part of that or slightly separate to it, I will stream and record the setup that I go through that runs through the route work and then exporting some brief, etc. if that helps. So I will definitely get that done today and just show you what I go through to get prepped. Because I think I figured out how to get different views on the stream. So I'll see how that works. It could be terrible. I might do it separately just in case it is a bag of rubbish, so that then I can delete it, try and do a proper tutorial or something at some point. Like I did a relatively quick one for the FMC. If you have a look, not perfect, but gives you an idea of how to set routes up, which just stemmed from a question. So let's have a listen to London. APU is on, so let's get the airplane secure. Oops, no, we wanted that.
Flyer 19er X-ray, squawk 7253. Flyer 19 X-ray, squawk 7253. 7253, Flyer 19 X-ray.
So something like that will do.
120 degrees.
Ground to cockpit. Plan acknowledge. Call me through the menu when you're ready.
God,
Ground
he's busy.
to cockpit. Tow is driving
I think
up.
I'm going to ruin his day.
Beaver 966 for descent, flight level 150, level by stoppage when ready.
So it would have been ideal if we'd gone somewhere that had tower or ground just to cut all of the chat here. Oh boy, he's busy.
Control 129.425. 29425, easy 56 Lima on the way. 76463, no speed restriction, runway 04, close to land with 050 degrees, 15 knots.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
Bravo, speed 320 knots. Ryanair 1 Alpha Bravo, 1 control close, stand front of the plane, 0. Stand front of the plane, 0. Ryanair 1 Bravo. Pivot 569, correction 969 hotel, contact 1 control 129.425, bye-bye. 29425, Zibo 96 hotel, bye-bye. Luxair 773, speed 250 knots. Luxair 773, speed 250 knots. 250 knots, my apologies. Cargo Luxair 773, 250 knots, descent possible 120.
So connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Oh, he's busy and got people not replying.
Shuttle 1 PSL under control, hello, squawk 0334. 0334.
Oh, too slow.
Speed 260 knots. Contact 459, under control, roger.
London Prefect 99.
And above that, speed 03 to 6, through flight level 270, stop floating. 77303, under control, good afternoon, and stop descent, flight level 250. Stopping at 250 for channel 53. River 957, Foxtrot, report your MAC number. Stage 4 indicated, okay. River 957, Foxtrot, speed 270 knots. China Southern 303.
Oh man.
3 knots for channel 323. China Southern 303, descent flight level 160.
Should have gone to Luton.
160 or China Southern 323. Cargo Lux 767. Right, 160 degrees.
South End.
Luxair 773, turn right heading 260 degrees.
Gonna die of old age at this rate.
260 degrees, Luxair 773, sorry, man is taking left turn heading 260 degrees. Left turn 260.
Oh, too slow again.
Turn heading 120 degrees. 120 degrees, struggling 76. Ryanair 1 Alpha Bravo, lead parkway heading 060 degrees, landing runway 04.
Oh, come on, that's pretty simple.
Lead parkway heading 060 degrees, landing runway 4. Ryanair 1 Alpha Bravo.
Oh man. Sorry guys, this is dull. Dull, dull, dull. Say 124. Is that a standstill that's just come online?
Fire 7 Lima Mike, running control, hello, climb flight level 70. China Southern 303, reduce speed to 280 knots now. 280 knots,
The limitations of VATSIM.
KLM 1030,
Oh my god.
KLM 1030, London. Cargo section Luxair 773, resume on navigation now, direct to Lambourne, Lima Alpha Mike at descent, flight level 80. On navigation direct Lambourne and down to flight level 80 for Luxair.
Don't say down to.
Cargo Lux 767, descent, flight level 100, turn right, heading 180 degrees. Right 180 down to 100, Cargo Lux 767. Ryanair 1 Alpha Bravo, descent, flight level 80.
Afternoon, third KLM 243 with you, level 370 inbound, Hotel Oscar November.
Ryanair 1 Alpha Bravo, descent, flight level 80. Descent level 80, Ryanair 1 Alpha Bravo. And Ryanair 1 Alpha Bravo, you can reduce speed now to 220 knots. Speed of 220 knots, Ryanair 1 Alpha Bravo. KLM 243, London control, route direct to Landstow.
So as you can see, it's a big old floor at times like this. London, good afternoon, Prefect 99.
Prefect 99, London control, hold standby, I will pull you back.
Cool, at least he knows we're here. I think it took a while for him to spot that. Spot our call sign. So Coventry's open. Kemble? No, Wellsbourne. STN-CWL. None of the places that we're going to get into. So he's got all the flying ones to worry about over us. Oh. This really is a fatal error. So he needs to get these guys in the right place, more importantly than us.
Direct landfall, cargo 767. 1077B, contact under control 129.425, line low speed. Airspeed London 129.425. Ryanair 1 Alpha Bravo, turn right now, heading 180 degrees, descend, flight level 70.
So I think that's someone coming into here.
Right, 180 degrees and down to 70. Ryanair 1 Alpha Bravo.
I assume.
Contact 459, fly radar heading 020 degrees, descend, flight level 90.
Well,
32 degrees, descend, flight level 90, contact 459. Golf 1986, flight level 140. Up to 140, Golf 1986. Super 96,
nope, still not us. Feel free to come back in a bit, guys. This is... So I think he's trying to shift all these guys after someone else. Get rid of the blips. Us.
Stations at 110, descend flight level 100. Script 818, London control, fly radar heading 045. Heading 045, straight 818. Ryanair 1 Alpha Bravo.
Nope, still not us.
6,000 feet, the listing, connection span, tuning. Oh, you're actually with the listing. Oh, I'm 15 silly. Ryanair 1 Alpha Bravo, descend to altitude 6,000 feet, connected.
So Luton and Stansted share arrivals over into Barkway, so...
Subject 45 Mike, turn left heading 330 degrees and descend flight level 80. Left hand heading 330 degrees, descend flight level 80, subject 455. River 96, vector call London 129.425. London 129.425. Flyer 7 Lima Mike.
Nope, still not us.
Flight level 170. Cargo 767, contact London control 129.425. 129.45, Smuggler 767, you're doing a great job, thanks. Thanks, see ya. River 818, climb flight level 70. Come out 7 818. China Southern 3.
Nope, still not us.
3, disregard. River 957, Foxtrot, descend flight level 160. 160, River 967.
Yes, 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 yes. No. Could be coordinating with someone else.
Control, good afternoon, Ryanair 169 London control, hello. Squawk 5240. 45240, Ryanair 140. Speedbird 818, expedite climb flight level 140. Speedbird 818, climb flight level 140 with a good rate. 140, expedite 818. Subject 459, turn left heading 265. Descent heading 265, subject 459. Ryanair 1 Alpha Bravo, turn right heading 265. Right heading 265, 1 Alpha Bravo. Subject 459, descent towards your 4,000 feet, the looking connected 1027. Descent 4,000 feet, 1027, subject 459. China Southern 303, contact London control.
Could just do a tower or ground, anybody coming along.
129.425, channel 123. River 957, Foxtrot, descent flight level 150. 150, contact Foxtrot. Speedbird connection, KLM 1030, London, you're on my frequency? Yes, KLM 1030. KLM 1030, London, hello there, speed 250 knots, and descend now, flight level 160.
So there's a trail of about 5 of those coming in. Let's got to worry about spacing them out.
Block, Shuttle 1 3SL, descend flight level 200, level still bid. 200 by service, Shuttle 1 3SL. Shuttle 150, just to confirm it's the bombs in 1 Bravo arrival.
Inbound bombs in 1 Bravo, sir.
Ryanair 16 Yankee, climb flight level 190.
Flight level 190, Ryanair 16 Yankee.
And Ryanair 16 Yankee, fly radar heading 170 degrees.
170, Ryanair 16 Yankee.
London Control, good afternoon, Speedbird 807 kilo, descending 240 to be level by Logan.
Trooper 807 kilo, London, hello, descent flight level 25, level by Vulkan, join the Vulkan 1 hotel arrival.
250 by Logan and 1 hotel arrival, Heathrow.
Heathrow, Vulkan 1 hotel.
Write it down, say it back quick. Boy.
70, resume on navigation, direct red bar.
Turn class 3 contact, 818.
Oh.
Can we just try and not talk over each other? Golf 19086, you've already
It's easier said than done.
Stay flight level 140.
Calling to request an altitude bank 120 if possible for 1986.
Okay, you've gone through that, but descend now flight level 120.
120 for 1986, thank you.
And the other stations again?
World Express 456, review, climb level 6000.
World Express 456 under control, hello, turn right heading 050 degrees.
Turn right heading 050 degrees, World Express 456.
Concept 459, turn left heading 250 degrees. Left heading 250 degrees, concept 459. That's concept 459, we're just speed now to 220 knots.
So I've even gone to the extreme step of asking in
Ryanair 1 Delta Bravo, turn left
text,
heading 255.
but he's so busy he's probably not even going to see that.
Left 255, Ryanair 1 Trent Bravo.
Paper 957 Fox, got the 10 flight level 140, speed 220 knots.
140, speed 220, speed 957 Foxtrot.
KLM 1060, route direct to Lambourne, Lima Alpha Mike.
Direct to Lima Alpha Mike.
Okay, Prefect 99 London Control, fast message.
Prefect 99 737 800 stand 14 at Stansted. Request push and start for a VFR departure to Cardiff.
Prefect 99 Roger, stand 14, push and start as approved. When ready, taxi holding point Lima 1 runway 04 and report ready for departure.
Push and start approved, holding point Lima 104, report ready, Prefect 99. Good, so we are good to go.
Good day, we are just like.
Okay, XM3. So,
World Express 456,
let's get that going. As you can see, it's something of an oddity. Let's get going. Brakes off.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
Oh, that was painful. But he's a good lad. It's not their fault. So we're not too fussed about fuel efficiency at this point. Let's get the engine started. Start number 2.
That's 150 to be left point, keeping for the Willow, 3 Bravo arrival, Gatwick, 4 GTX.
Shuttle 120 turn right heading 160, disregard, shuttle 120 turn right heading 160.
Hang on a minute. Okay, we did stop. That was wary.
Shuttle 130.
Done anything.
Ryanair 16 turn right
25%
40 degrees.
fuel on.
Right to heading 240, Ryanair 120.
959 Yankee ready, expected. The fraction. Oh, you're over there. 859 Yankee Roger, taxi by Golf and hold Golf 1, runway 04.
So no idea what runway's in use at Cardiff, but we'll have an educated guess.
Trooper 957 Fox, got the 10 flight level 80.
So engine number 2 stable. Let's start engine 1.
Flight level 150, KLM 100.
Trooper 807 kilo, speed 250 knots.
250 is not Speedbird. 807 kilo.
You've flown all the way from Bellas, how have you forgotten your call sign?
It's been a long day.
I flicked the fuel on too early, having a chuckle there. Hopefully the engine will be alright. It will get
Operation
a flood of fuel.
Set parking brake.
So brake set. I'm just covering over the fuel this time in case we do
Stand by.
get a hot start. So just watching the EGT because I'm not sure how well it's modelled. Okay, that's stable. 246 before taxi flow.
Right, 16 Yankee, contact level 220, Zibo, navigation direct Silver.
Level 220, say again, direct.
Silver, Sierra India Lima, Victor Alpha.
I really don't know how these guys do it. They're thinking in 4 dimensions as well. It's like chess.
Level 200. Traffic 413, London Control, Roger. Edit 1 Alpha, arrival for London Lisbon. Squawk 7161.
Are we disconnecting?
So is disconnected
Yeah.
and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
413, Squawk 7161 is the Edit 1 Alpha arrival.
Edit 1 Alpha, 7161 to Squawk, traffic 413.
7957.
Can't even see that.
Control 129, decimal 425.
So we're just waiting on the pin. The pin we have shown. Flap 5.
Descend, flight level 130.
Flying controls while the flaps are travelling. We wait.
Express 456 for Zibo, navigation direct red bar.
Continue on navigation, direct red bar, 456.
So 575. Recalls checked. So before taxi, gens on, APUs off, start switches continuous. Probe heat is on, anti-ice not required. Air conditioning set to our cruise. Pax auto, bleeds on, ISO's auto. Flap 5, green light. Stab trim 575, 575 set. Flight controls checked, recalls checked. And we have been cleared to taxi to Lima 1. So let me just double check the chart. Hopefully we can make that with the performance. If not, we can fire all the throttles if it looks sketchy. So we are going to taxi forwards, take second left and go down to Lima. So brakes off, configs checked, clear left, clear right, and we are off and on our way. Thank you for your patience, chaps. Off we go.
Flight level 150, level by Kidley. 150 by Kidley, EV125, thank you. KLM 106.
So ground is on now, and we could have done with that earlier. Stands to the ground, hello, Prefect 99738, just pushed off stand 14 holding Alpha. Prefect 99.
99, Roger, that's ground taxi, holding point Lima 1, runway 04, fire. In fact, you've already got your taxi codes.
If we'll go Lima 1, runway 04, Prefect 99, thanks. So, yeah, he must have had a little bit of a handover there. He's happy, I'm happy. Oh. So we will speak to London again once we are ready for departure. So normally we'd have weather this side. I'm going to pop terrain on because that's going to be our major threat. We haven't been cleared to an altitude, so if that gets changed, we will. Actually, I'll tell you what, I'm going to leave that so it reminds us. We are clear to the left, clear to the right, and we're going to go straight ahead here. It's going to be a completely manual takeoff. 90% should do us, and like I said, we can firewall it if we need to, if it looks like it's getting a bit sketchy. Hopefully we'll get cleared to orderly end, because that's the one I've planned for, otherwise I'm going to have to do a little bit of rapid replanning. So our departure should be straight ahead, left turn after departure, once we're above about 400 feet. And one thing I can do is set the minimum flap, which is 1348. It's a bit more difficult with the head shake. So we'll start getting down. As you can see, we're taxiing a bit quick. Straight line limit is about 30 knots, I think. And actually, the SkyDemon geo-reference chart that I'm looking at is pretty good for taxiways. It's not, I'm not going to say, it's unfair to say it's not the clearest. It's pretty good actually. I can see where I'm going, which is a real help in a real aeroplane. It shows the wind as well, slightly from the right at 14 knots. And sadly, because it is on the iPad, and it's picking up a sort of pretend GPS signal, I can't show you guys, which is a shame really, because I think it'd be great to have that, you know, like down here in the corner. But it's not a PC application, so you can use it on Android, you can use it on, I should be a salesman for them really, you can use it on iPad. It's, you know, it's designed to be used in flight, so it's good to get my brain using it again for when we do start flying in reality. So Solent just came along, and the north is on as well, so it's getting busier as we would expect for a bank holiday. So this is November, Lima should be the next right. So sorry about the delay guys, it would have been a lot easier if we'd had ground to start with, because he could have just cleared us off nice and quietly. That would have been ideal, so apologies for that, but thanks for sticking with it. And if you've got any questions, I think I sort of discussed our departure options. Is that a landing or a touch and go? Looks interesting. Maybe the ground clamping isn't as good as we thought, but hey, it's better than it was. So Lima 1 is right. There's a high-speed taxiway exit here, so it's the first right just over here where those wigwags are, not this one here. 10 knots on the turn, and let's imagine the cabin is secure, we haven't got anyone in the back. Oh, hang on, that just went. So, London 127.1, thanks for the service, have a great day, maybe we'll see you again later, Prefect 99. I don't know how that got changed. So we're on 121.7, so I've gone back to 1228, so we want 127.1. Tuned, back on London. Here's Lima 1.
Wait, hang on. Ryanair 6620.
Not ready.
Frequency 121.725. Okay, 121.725.
So I'm just scrolling out on the chart. That's ready. I suppose we could put weather on that side, but it doesn't really matter. I've got it on this side. 139, 139. Trim is roughly set, and then we'll play around with the FMC en route. London, hello again. Prefect 99. Holding point Lima 1, runway 04, VFR departure, standstill.
Prefect 999, roger. After departure, it's a right-hand turn. Actually, no, make it a right-hand turn. To leave the standstill controls onto the south. Not above altitude 3,000 feet VFR. Squawk 4377.
After departure, right-hand turn, depart the zone to the south, not above altitude 3,000 feet VFR, squawk 4377, Prefect 99.
Prefect 99 correct, and report ready departure.
Wilco, Prefect 99. So he wants us a right-hand turn down to the south of that. It is going to be interesting. So what we will do is just skirt all the way around and then go back around. We're just going to do a big old lap of the standstill zone. I think he wants to straight line us straight to Cardiff. But we'll be cool. So checked. We haven't been cleared, but so let's set the squawk for 377. Prefect 99, ready for departure. Just going to make this up as we go along.
Fraction 8590 Yankee, turn left heading 250 degrees.
250, fraction 859 Yankee.
Jet to Alpha Papa London, hello.
London, good afternoon. LL841 with
LL841 London Control, good afternoon. Squawk is coming 0107.
Okay, 0107, and we'll take flight level 3401 available, LL841.
LL841, climb flight level 340.
340, LL841.
Tropic 413, descend flight level 900.
Sorry guys, we'll get out of control soon. We'll just get basic service. Prefect 99, Lima 1, stand still, ready for departure.
425.
Oh crap.
Easy 129, call London 129.425.
129.425, sorry about that, someone cut us off.
How rude. Fraction 859 Yankee, so my setting 2430 degrees, expect this dialect, approach runway 08, listen.
240, can we maintain 6,000, fraction 859 Yankee?
So we probably should have asked for a left-hand turn. London Prefect 99, ready for departure.
Prefect 99, roger, runway 04, clear for takeoff, surface wind and stance, that is 0403.161.
Clear takeoff, runway 04, Prefect 99. So...
Approaching
all clear,
04.
nothing seen on TCAS. Hopefully our lack of performance is not going to bite us.
London, Speedbird 807 kilo, request lower.
So let's go up to 40%.
On runway 04.
We have been cleared. Runway heading. No toga. Stop the stopwatch. Engine stable and off we go.
Speedbird 807 kilo, bye bye. London, hello, runway, expect you will that,
80 knots. Checked.
V1, rotate. Positive rate.
Gear up. And at 400 we will bring the power back.
400.
So let's head off to the south. So we're still not quite above the minimum flap.
1000.
So there we go, let's get on to about 10. Get the airplane accelerator, you can see climb 2D rate is there. Still climbing quite nicely. Go flap 1. And we'll bug up as well. Flap up. Let's just get the airplane a little bit higher up.
Fraction 859 Yankee, contact London 135 decimal 8.
135, fraction 859.
London 135 decimal 8, Prefect 99. That's going to be a right pain. Oh.
Delta 80, 807 kilo. Rhino Chili Alpha, expedite 36,000 feet, please.
Expedite Rhino Chili Alpha.
4 kilo turn left heading 140 degrees.
Yeah, the airplane nicely settled down.
Heading 140 degrees.
So we should really be with Essex radar.
BD 410 detect current 7 flight level 80.
Southwest 0, 410.
Hello, good afternoon, Prefect 99.
Prefect 99, hello. Thanks for the
Sorry, say again, Prefect 99.
You maintain 2,100 feet.
Affirm, Prefect 99.
Prefect 99, roger.
Okay, he didn't seem to want much more from us.
254, roger. 10 flight level 120. You want to fix my number of flight level 150 forward pass sector. If you want to fix my roger. Fraction 8 flight landing, it's 10 forward to 4,000 feet.
So what is this ahead? Harlow to the left. We'll go via Ware and then head north and we'll get back on track. We'll try and maintain 2.5. So minus 1.8, that's a worry, but that looks like somebody on the ground. Let's get a smidge of power. So this, I think, is Ware that we're just coming over. So let's get the airplane round and heading north. Just crawl our way to Henlow. Oh, it's all good fun. So we're going to miss Luton Zone. So that should do us about there. A little bit high. So our first heading, hello, 267. So we're technically in the Luton CTA. I'm not sure these guys care, they're too busy. So we should just be underneath it. So sorry guys, it's pretty busy, so I can't have a bit of a chat, but dropping down to 2.5 should take us just out of the Luton CTA. We should just be skirting underneath it. In reality we wouldn't skirt this high, we'd be at 2,000 feet to stay underneath it. So it's a little bit windy. Good flying day though, to be honest. Okay, that makes sense. Different London. That's cool. So having done this trip in reality, flying over Henlow, past around Luton Zone, doesn't look too bad. How's the old frame rate doing? It's alright. Now there's a model flying NOTAM over here that will go over. I don't even think Henlow is going to be on the navigation display.
2154, contact Heathrow 19725.
Contact Heathrow 19725.
Well, let's not creep up too much. So airspace over Henlow is 3.5, so we're alright there.
Fine, city mountain contact London with your heading 129.425.
55 running city now, thanks.
Easy 1 Civic to Mike, you have flight level 90.
So we're just looking out to our left for Henlow. Just grass airfield. Should just be over here. There it is, almost on the nose. So 267 is what we want. And 15 minutes to Gloucester. God, that was interesting and sketchily flown at best. Basic service prefect 99. Cool, so that is Henlow, have flown in there in reality. It's definitely not me doing that. So let's call that stopwatch start. Oh, that was one thing I wanted to do, was heading up, wasn't it? So let's get 267. There's our 267. 2.5. Stopwatch is running. We're happy, we're on our way. So we are looking at 15 minutes. Cool. Airplane's flying pretty well by itself, even if I do say so myself. Oh, now it goes up a bit. So that's just a tap of trim to get it back down. And let's get us back on heading. That's definitely not me. I'm not touching the controls and we are climbing. So just a little bit quick there. You could of course use the auto throttle to keep it bang on, which would be nice, but that's cheating in my mind for this flight. So we're crossing the M1 over here. Cranfield should be out to our left, correction, out to our right, which it is. There it is. Don't know why it's drifting off. Milton Keynes is just over here to our right. I think that's Whipsnade. There should be a line somewhere. I see a line. Chalk line, that looks Safari Parky to me. Okay, I'll shut up. Let's go back to flying the jet. So there is a restricted area just outside of Milton Keynes, but it's helicopters only, so we've got that on the chart and we're going to avoid it. The Crowton Herter is about 5 minutes away ahead. Sounds like it's going to get loud. So this is Milton Keynes here to our right and in front of us. So the only thing I can think while we keep drifting off is due to the weather modelling. It genuinely isn't me. Just little taps on the trim aren't really working. Okay, pressure change there, which is fine. We might end up speaking to London West, that'd be fun. Yawn. So you can see Chargrove, Benson, Abingdon, Rise. We'll be going to the top of all that. Little Horwood is this disused airfield here. Quite visible. You can use those as turning points. Buckingham will be over here to our right. Finmere is a pretty recognisable airfield over the far side of it. Certainly get some interesting looks if you were flying this for real. So there is Buckingham, flown for real quite a few times over there. Then Finmere, a disused airfield up here, and as we get closer you will see why it's quite distinctive. There you go, you start to see Finmere coming in here with the trees, a runway there. That runway is active as a microlight site, but the airfield itself has got these very distinctive runways that meet in a triangle at the corner. We're a little bit quick, technically illegal. There you go, you see that there. Really distinctive airfield. So the next thing we should see is Upper Hayford on our left in a minute or two. I think it's just over here, which is a big old disused airfield which is used as a car storage area. Oh, hang on, did we just drift? We drifted off quite a bit there. See, that definitely wasn't me. Maybe we could just go to Unicom, it'd be quieter. See, I think we've just got into a bit of lift there, because that is not me. Promise. So here you go, you see Upper Hayford on the left. Whee. Hard work. Anyway, that should be to the left of our route, so we're not too far off. And you can see just how big it is. And in reality, this is just a giant car park. You can see all the cars along here. What a waste of a good airfield. Wait. So we're about halfway along. Oxford out to our left. There should be Enstone to our left. I've been there as well.
and climb flight level 120 runway 36.
Traffic 413, send towards 5,000 feet, QNH 1028.
5,1028 before 3.
Right, expect Yankee 10 right, 636 degrees, send 2,000 feet, clear line, runway 04.
360, 2,000, clear down at 04, and I expect it.
2805, contact Heathrow, 19725.
See, that isn't me. That's a bit of gusty, weathery wind. Okay, I'm going to stop mucking about with this. I mean, we could switch the autopilot on. Look at that. Big old change in the wind there. The aeroplane will ride it out. It's not normally this bad in reality. So there is Edstone. So I'm going to squawk 7,000. Just so people know. That may very well be Gloucester over right on the ND ahead. So our next heading is going to be 236. Set it on that one, 236. Then what we have to have a look at is Cardiff. The aeroplane is literally all over the place. That's why we don't say 444. Was that a radio call I missed? So, let's have a look at the weather. Live weather from Lakeneath, Building Hill, Watersham, Cambridge, don't want any of those. St Athan, North Hull, I think all of these. Cardiff, so a little bit of terrain ahead.
Topic 413, down left heading 040 degrees, send towards 3,000 feet, clear ILS, runway 08.
040, clear ILS, down to topic 413.
So there is actually approach 12855.
Ryanair 990, contact 10 radar, 132.7.
327, Ryanair 990, thanks, bye.
So let's go have a check to them. Gloucester approach, good afternoon. Prefect 99 basic service.
Prefect 99, Gloucester approach, hello, bunch of details.
Prefect 99 737-800 out Stansted to Cardiff, currently altitude 2,500 feet, QNH 1028 VFR. Request basic service. Didn't tell him where we were.
Prefect 99, basic service, Cotswolds 1025, Port near the field.
Cotswold 1025, we'll go Prefect 99. So 025, that'll do. Let's get the airplane settled down. It is bumpy. I think it can only be the wind blowing off the terrain here and X-plane modelling it quite well. So we will be routing overhead, and we said it was about 15 minutes en route, didn't we? And 13.5, it's ahead, but it's not marked. But that looks like Gloucester to me. So next is 239. And 13 minutes. Where did I get 239 from? It's 236. (236) 13 minutes. So you can see heading and stopwatch, even when it is as poorly flown as this is Gloucester. 15 minutes later we are here despite the wind being not quite as forecast, and we're going to find ourselves meeting some clouds. And there is the aerodrome straight ahead, another airfield I have been to just here. So is anybody online at Cardiff? 1331. Let's get that tuned up. So let's beeline straight for the field now. 15 minutes and we are there. The nav gets you where you need to be, when you need to be, enough that you can see what you need to see to know where you are. So it does work. Prefect 99 passing overhead, altitude 2,500. Okay, Prefect 99. So let's stop the stopwatch, start the stopwatch again. 13 minutes we're looking for. 236 on the heading. Of course we don't want to do too tight a turn. Don't want to pitch up too much neither. 236 with a tailwind. That'll do us there. Just to the right of the River Severn by the looks of things. So 236, 2.5, a little bit high, stopwatch is running. We are on our way. So we can just let the aeroplane drift down as it's doing. Maybe a smidge of power. This is the sector that has the highest MSA, so we may get some terrain warnings if we get close to anything. So I suppose we could speak to London West. No, we can't, because there is no London West. Don't want to be going up that quickly. And so this is just Gloucester out to our left, so I was mistaken earlier, it was Cheltenham that we went over, but two big cities that are quite next to each other. I think I've been to the services down there before, so I can't remember why I was going up Gloucester way. And here is the River Severn. So let's get back on heading, back on height. Navigate our way across the country. So is there anyone to speak to? No London West, nothing else out here. Prefect 99, we're about 10 miles to the southwest, changing to Unicom 122.8. Thanks very much, see you later. Thanks, bye. So we'll tune 228. Stand by, but I am actually on Cardiff Tower, so a little bit high as well, not not too fussed about that. It's not going to make much of a difference in the grand scheme of things. There's a lot less airspace to worry about out here. There is a 7 bird sanctuary. Are we allowed in that? Avoid mid-September to early April. That's beautifully vague. I'd say we're in mid-April, so happy days. Especially at this sort of speed, you wouldn't really want to be going towards anywhere where there could be a concentration of birds. So, how are they going to get us in? I think it's going to be, let's have a look at the runway. I think it'll be runway 12. Now that's irritating because it's given us a bit of a cheat line. We could use the Cardiff NDB. What else is there around that way that we could use? The Gloucester NDB we could have used. That would have been a useful nav aid. But as I said, it's all visual. We've got 10 miles to run. Cardiff Tower, good afternoon. Prefect 99, basic service. Oh, I think he's just gone offline. Scoundrel. Oh, just as we were getting somewhere. Right, so the question for you guys is, do we want to drop into Cardiff? We could set up for a dead side join. No, hang on, let's think about this. We could set up for a standard overhead join, which is going to be fun to try and fly in this. And land, and then I could very quickly, as we taxi back, or taxi back to the hold, and then plan a route to Manchester, because I think the circuits are a little bit short here. So Coventry, Gloucester, Bristol Tower is online. Why don't we, do you want to go to Bristol? I mean, we've been to Bristol. Okay, why don't we do a touch and go, and then just eyeball our way over to Bristol, and then see what they say for a 737. I don't know if we'd get away with circuits at Bristol. It's a pretty short runway, but we can certainly go for a low approach. Manchester is long enough. What else is long enough around here? We can go down to Exeter. Is Exeter online? Cardiff traffic. Prefect 99, 5 minutes to run to the field for a standard overhead join. Whatever, I don't even really care what I'm saying to them. So Bournemouth is open, but that's a very short runway as well. Go to East Midlands. Don't know how long that would take. East Midlands on Manchester, really? Overhead join sounds like a fighter manoeuvre. So an overhead join, a standard overhead join, is the standard way of getting into the circuit. If you, it's slightly different in the US, but essentially this is the runway I'm expecting going that way, runway 12. So we're going to go from the from the live side of the circuit. You want to be at least 2,000 feet above the aerodrome. The live side is left hand, the dead side is right hand by standard. Now it might be different at Cardiff, but I haven't checked. So a standard overhead join will take you over the threshold. You descend 1,000 feet on the dead side, you turn 180 degrees, you come back over the upwind threshold, and then you turn left into the downwind, and then fly a base leg and a turn. Obviously in the 7.3 it's a continuous turn, but it's that sort of manoeuvre, over, round and in. So let's try it. All the pumps are on. I don't know why I've got the flight directors on, they can come off. Start switches can go to continuous. Recalls checked, we haven't let anybody out of the seats, not that we've got anyone. So let's head in. Let's have a look, how long do we think it's going to take us to get there? Cardiff traffic, Prefect 99, 4 minutes to run 20 miles, expecting runway 12, positioning for a standard overhead join. So it looks like there are people there that are not talking, unless tower has come back, which it doesn't look like it has. I don't know if these guys are St. Athan. This gives you really good situational awareness. You'd have to get it from the chart otherwise. So, and you can see we've drifted up, but I'm happy enough that we're going to lose some of that speed as we head in. So let's just bug the up speed, start slowing the aeroplane down. The elevation at Cardiff is 220, so we want to be 2,200. Oh, don't want to do that, I want to do that one. And you can see how slippery the aeroplane is. Bring it back now. So 118 is going to give us 298 for runway 30. Looks about right, doesn't it? Try and do that in your head. And we might need a little bit of speed brake to slow us down. Actually, you can see still a very slippery airplane even with the throttle at idle. So let's maintain that altitude. So flap 5 will probably do us. Let's get the speed brake in. One thing I haven't done, set VREFs. So let's quickly do that. We haven't really got the weather. So 138, let's go something like 145, just see what we get. A little bit high again. See, the aeroplane is just under 10 miles away, which is only about 2 or 3 minutes. And so that timing of 13 minutes is, again, as you see, pretty accurate if we'd have maintained the heading and not had the cheat on here. Cardiff traffic, prefect 99, joining the zone from the north. Entering, but whatever. Don't even know if there is anybody at Cardiff to call. So, what do we fancy? Low approach, touch and go. I've done touch and goes at Cardiff before, so we can definitely do a touch and go. Do you want to do a touch and go and then go and try one at Bristol? And we can just eyeball it. Get the speed back just a little bit, get the height down. I don't think a standard overhead joint will work particularly well in this aeroplane, but we'll give it a go. We're about 1,500 feet above the field, aren't we? 2,700. When we go for that, it's just a bit more comfortable. It's such a big old beast. There you go, you can see the airfield now, just out to about 11, coming around to 10 o'clock. So you can just about make out the runway threshold there. That's what we want to fly over, ideally at 90 degrees, so I may have got that ever so slightly wrong. You can see it's pretty strong wind, yep, so there's the landing threshold, and we're a little bit in the wrong position, but it is quite difficult to make out in the sim. Cardiff traffic, prefect 99, joining overhead, altitude 2,700 feet. Anyway, at least we can see it out of the window. See, pretty strong wind up here. Quite a bit of drift. So let's get that set back to track. I'll leave it there because we may change that again. We could have gone for a base leg, to be fair. Would have been a bit further out than this. So we don't need to descend. Oh no, hang on a minute, we want to go down to 1,700, so we do need to descend. Sorry, that's me just being a bit gash. Prefect 99, dead side descending. So let's just bring that rate of descent relatively nicely. That's a bit 500 feet a minute. Is it going to take us 2 minutes? Probably not. We might need to be a bit more aggressive at getting the descent on. Definitely needed to be a bit more aggressive with the turn because it's quite a confined space to make the turn in. So no approach on. Flat 5, we're going to need a little bit of power, I reckon. Descending though. There's the upwind threshold just over here that we want to be going over at circuit height. So at approximately 1,700 feet to give us a 1,500 foot circuit, which is reasonable for a jet. 1,000 feet for light aircraft is fine, but 1,500 for a jet is a bit better. See, we are building up a little bit of speed, and this just gets us descending on the side of the airfield that is not busy with circuit traffic, and if there was anyone downwind you should hopefully spot them and be able to fit in around them. They've got right of way. So let's do a touch and go and then go to Brizzle. So not the best overhead join, but not too bad neither. We're at circuit height, a little bit quick. Doesn't look like we've got any other aeroplanes about. And we're just now going to have to position ourselves into a reasonable downwind. Certainly at this point I think it's going to be far too tight in, and in reality you're going to use visual landmarks on the ground. So you can see the wind is all over the place, so ideally we do want the wind. So let's start our turn here. So whether at, I don't want to do Cardiff, whether at Cardiff 08018 knots, so it's going to be at least 9 on top of that, so 3, 4, 7. Cardiff traffic, prefect 99, downwind, touch and go. So that'll do, whatever we're heading for, that little foresty thing in front. I think we are approximately a beam. So let's start the stopwatch there. Now remember it's 1,500 feet, so 45 seconds, 30 we should configure. How much wind have we got there? About 10 knots. So we can knock off, let's go knock off 25. Literally all over the place, a little bit slow. Let's go gear down, flap 15. Not my finest bit of flying. and then 40 seconds. Oh no, we're going to go early because to that massive bit of lift. Flap 25. Get the aeroplane descending, sped up a little. AJMB, thanks. Don't quote me on it being fantastic because this is some pretty sketchy flying, but what can you say? And flown all the way. Interesting weather. Why are we going up? Because I'm not paying attention. Sorry, I was looking at the chat. So we want roughly a 500-foot rate of descent as we come around this turn. The weather is definitely not helping. Let's see if we can do a bit better at Bristol. Not sure we'll even get away with a touch and go at Bristol. So let's zoom this bad boy in so we can anticipate that turn a bit better. So there we are on VAP. There you go, you can see the runway, you can see the turn was far, far, far too tight, and we are still going up. This is terrible. This is not a tutorial, but you certainly saw that heading and stopwatch works for the nav. Flying around the airfield though is clearly not my forte. Maybe I just need some radio to make it that bit more difficult. So, no speed brake armed, auto brake off, landing flaps set, gear down 3 green, start switch is continuous. We are well and truly high and fast on the approach, so if we do make this a low approach and go around, it's good go around practice. It's a massively high terrain closure rate, so if you look at the vertical speed, that's a properly unstable approach, and you would certainly throw that away were you to be flying this approach on the line or for your virtual airlines. That's stabilising a bit better, and all I'm doing is just trying to keep the aiming point constant. Alright.
Too high.
She's not going to give up, is she? Try and keep the aiming point constant, and then you control speed with throttle. So we are too high, and you wouldn't close with terrain like this. Well, I've got a PPL, but I am not type rated on this aeroplane. So, amateur pilot at best. So you see 2 reds, 2 whites. Cardiff traffic, prefect 99, short final, 1-2, touch and go.
400.
So there we go, that's going to look a bit low, so we need some power. Just keeping that aiming point, those 6 painted bars, 3 on each side, keeping that constant. And then
100.
Worrying about speed with throttle.
50,
Look far down
40,
end of the runway.
30,
30,
20,
check, close.
10.
As long as we touch down inside these markings, it's all good.
5,000
Down we go.
feet remaining.
Stand up the throttles, flap 15. Travelling.
4,000 remaining.
Trim set.
3,000 remaining.
Let's get going, a little bit more power than normal. See, you can do it.
2,000
It is a bit
remaining.
short though. Let's get that aeroplane away from terrain.
400.
Flap 5. Right, what do you reckon? Eyeball it to Bristol?
1,000.
Bristol is not far.
For flying Ryanair. Last year, over 90% of our flights arrived on time. We hope you enjoyed yours, and we look forward to welcoming you on board again soon.
Thanks very much, and we are on our way eyeballing over to Bristol, prefect 99. So, let's just maintain runway heading, start accelerating the aeroplane. I haven't got the gear up because I didn't hear a positive rate call, that's my bad entirely. Passing flap 1, flap up. So, passing flap. It's bug 240. Running out of hands. Auto brake off, flaps up, no lights, gear up and off. Start switch isn't going to leave continuous. And let's get ourselves up to like 3-ish thousand feet. And shall we give Bristol a call? So there is 13385 is Bristol Tower. Ooh. Bring that back. Bristol is just off and out to our left. Let's go and get some go around practice. So let's just head due east. Bristol Tower, good afternoon. Prefect 99 basic service. No approach on, no. This really throws people. Bristol Tower, Prefect 99, 737-800, just done touch and go at Cardiff, VFR, squawking 7000, approximately 15 miles west. Request join for low approach and go around.
Prefect 99, roger, stand by, break, start, signal mic, leaving control airspace, squawk 7000, change route for that. Squawk 7000, change speed, back to speed, golf and right.
Right, that's enough for us. Could get away with a cheeky initials join, let's not let the aeroplane speed up too much. So he should have told us to remain outside controlled airspace as well, but actually all of the CTAs around Bristol apart from the round one. Hello mate, good to see you. Are all deactivated, so we are technically not in live controlled airspace at the moment. This lad does not want to get back to us. If it's a left-hand circuit, we could do a dirty initials join into this.
Prefect 99, sorry for delay. You clear to enter Bristol Tower from the west, what's the other side?
Clear to enter the zone from the west, we'll go Prefect 99. So, we are quite fast.
Prefect 99, sorry, apologies, just said I thought that actually achieved altitude.
Not above altitude, 2,000 feet. I'll be able to do an initials join, Prefect 99. He may not be familiar with that.
Roger,
Okay. I guess he wasn't. So, let's dive the aeroplane down.
2500.
You just see the aeroplane, the airfield on the hill over there. So that was not above 2,000. Don't even know how high Bristol is, to be honest. Prefect 99, field in sight.
Prefect 99, roger, report time.
If we can, we'd like to break into the downwind and then fly a circuit to low approach, Prefect 99. Because there is no way we're going to get rid of all this energy at this sort of speed.
Prefect 99, roger, report right downwind from 09.
Oh, right downwind. Roger, right downwind, Prefect 99. So, we're going to have to dirty dive over this. Because it's a right hand circuit, so I'm in a bad position. So had I known it was a right hand circuit, if I'd been given that on the initial call, I'd have positioned over to the left. But I just assumed that it was a standard left hand circuit. So I think Bristol's about 500 or 600 feet. Let's not let the speed get away with us too much, but we will be able to use the turn to get away with, to lead off all of this additional speed and to get into a nice downwind position. We've got some traffic out to our left. That's him. So idle throttle.
Hello again. Cleared the principal control zone via the east now. The VRP number RP2000.
Oh.
Bank angle. Bank angle.
So that's a little bit high. Will be a lot quicker than he will anyway. So you can see how much energy that turn is bleeding off. We might be able to make a touch and go here. When we do that, we'll request it when we're downwind. So let's just use the ND for a little bit of situational awareness as well. There we are approaching the up speed. So it does work quite well. There's a lot of back pressure to keep this coming round though. So passing the up speed. Let's go flap 1. Prefect 99. Downwind right hand touch and go.
Prefect 99, roger your number. 1 report 5.
Port final, prefect 99. So that's about downwind. We might be a little bit close in. You see that was not particularly well flown initial strike, but gives you an idea. It's a very expedient way to get into the circuit at high speed. So 138, let's go 148. Don't know what the wind is here. He'll give it to us, but I won't have time or capacity to work it out. I haven't started the stopwatch, so again, this is just a rough eyeball. Should have done that when we were abeam. So let's, as we get to flap 5, we'll go gear down, flap 15. Make all the passengers in the backs chunder. So it's a pretty tight turn. Okay, that makes sense. Mirrored circuits, so we couldn't have got away with an initials join in real life. So really useful having that extended centre line. Let's give it power on, make sure we don't sink too much. Just trying to make out the field there. He's going to have to extend downwind. Now I think we are 2 right, 3 reds maybe. There we go, we're on there.
Traffic.
Got the traffic. Prefect 99, final touch and go.
Clear of conflict.
1,000.
Approaching 09.
Clear touch and go, prefect 99. There you go, that's us bang on profile. That wasn't bad for a very gashly flown circuit. Speed was all over the place, and you know what, it is actually quite windy. Be a touch and go, and then I think we're just going to mooch off to the east, hold somewhere, and then figure out where to go next. Glorious VFR day, so a little bit high. Do not want that closure rate in reality.
500.
But we'll take it for this.
400.
You can see the humped runway at Bristol. Can expect a bit of wind chill, I think. Or at least some turbulence.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Down we go, little aeroplane. Oh, and look, the ground falls away.
Long landing.
Ooh.
Long landing. 4,000
So, bit of a thump.
feet
Let's
remaining.
get flap travelling. Take off trim.
3,000 remaining.
And go.
2,000 remaining.
Hey, that was alright, we kind of made it. Wasn't the prettiest of landings. Positive rate.
Too low.
Gear up.
Gear. Too low. Gear.
Let's bring the
Too
power
low.
back.
Gear. Too low. Gear. Too low. Gear.
400.
Too low. Gear. Too low. Gear. Too low. Gear.
So, where to next? So scenery-wise, that is just the standard Bristol scenery, and I think there's a little bit of zoom level 18 ortho around here, but 17 for the rest of the UK.
1,000.
So, that wasn't badly flown.
3699, clear to leave, control 85, start race course, VRP, not the function to you, VFR, 4070.
Clear to leave the zone via the Bath race course VRP, not above altitude 2,000 feet, squawk 5070, prefect 99. I think that was the squawk, is it? Oh, 5070, I got that right. It's 5070. That'll do. Now, where is the Bath race course? I've got to find that on the chart. That's actually just out here, and I'm just hoofing towards it. And we've already busted our clearance. And I was pretty gash with the flaps there. Anyway, nothing's broken. Bring that back a bit. So that was a terrible departure. But I've only just figured out where the race course is. Flaps up. No lights, gear up and off, start switch is still continuous and we'll leave them. And we should now be heading directly for the Bath racecourse, although there is what appears to be a structure on that hill. Don't really want to get too close to that. Anyway, that was different. Getting a bit carried away now. So we should cross the railway line. Should be a racecourse a little bit further ahead. We're going to leave the zone. Cologne is not active. Gatwick, Solent Thames, Coventry. Let's stay with our clearance, not go above 2,000. We busted it already. Right, where's this Chuffit racecourse then? Is it the other side of this hill? So it should literally be just to the left. Is it on the hill? Am I being a div? I'm not seeing it. It's out to our left. Railway line. Roger, prefect 99. I know this looks like the race course. Is this it up here? This is it, there we go. Squawk 7000, frequency change approved. Thanks very much for the service. See you again soon. Prefect 99. There is the race course. So, where do we want to go? Got your new RAM coming, that's good. That's good. That will hopefully improve your experience no end. So let's get heading somewhere. Cologne is bang on the nose. They have an ATZ which we want to stay outside of, although I think it may be deactivated. No one to talk to about that anyway. Back over to Unicom. Let's get a little bit of height on. Try not to go too fast. And let's think about perhaps where we would like to go. Let's go straight back up towards Gloucester. And I'm just going to ping the track marker on that in Sky Demon. So about there. We could go to Birmingham. Birmingham is probably about 20 minutes away. Cosford, East Midlands, Manchester. Not sure what to say for VFR. Yeah, well, don't use me as a tutorial because my VFR comms have been pretty sketchy at best, along with my flying. But there we are. Not even maintaining height. I'd like to go to Exeter, but I don't think anybody's there. Go over Gloucester. No ATC at Birmingham. So let's go from here to Manchester. Let's do a direct, like we are diverting. So route direct to Manchester. So this is heading 09 006 is the heading we want. So let's get heading back up there. 006. Start the stopwatch from wherever we were because I just did a divert. 006, that'll do us. Let's go up to 3.5 because we are tracking east. And 16 minutes is what it says. No, that's the ETA, 16:25, so 25 minutes en route. So 25 minutes, 28 minutes, okay. 006, 28 minutes, and we should actually be going directly over Cosford, which I'm not sure if it's halfway, but we will see.
Altimeter setting.
So don't have a QNH. In fairness, we should be using standard out here because the transition altitude around here is 3,000 feet. So let's go up to flight level 35035. Lancair Legacy. What on earth is that? Sounds like a complaint. It's looking pretty good for free Ortho. And the actual scenery, the bits there, is ex-Europe, which does a pretty good job, I think. A hill over there in the distance. Let's have a chat to Gloucester 12855. Let's get back on heading. Gloucester approach. Good afternoon, Prefect 99 basic service.
Prefect 99, Gloucester. Hello, basic service, Cotswold 4102. Can you report your next waypoint?
Prefect 99738 at flight level 035, and we are tracking direct Manchester.
Prefect 99, Roger, report into the frequency.
Okay, Prefect 99. 99, it doesn't really work. Two-seater sporty. Okay, that sounds fun. That sounds fun. What sort of speed does it cruise at? I imagine if it's like light sport, it'll be relatively quick, fuel efficient. Maybe not quick by 7.3 standards, but certainly quick in the real GO world, which is sort of reaching about 120 knots. So everything at Birmingham is shut. I think we said it was 25 or 28 minutes. Back on heading, maintain height. We'll be crossing over, so Gloucester is out to our right over here again. Just see the airfield just out there. There it is. Right back. Okay, well, most of the light support stuff is quite cool and quite quick, relatively cheap in terms of aeroplane ownership, so it's all good fun. So Gloucester is big enough to do a touch and go. Wolverhampton should be just off the nose in about 10 minutes. Manchester radar 118,575. This has turned into a bit of an epic stream, to be honest. You see how often I'm having to correct the aeroplane. One thing I can say for the VFR stuff is just have a look at Cap 413 and you'll see how poor my RT has been, but I've got most of the radio calls there, and to be honest, like I've said before, I think it's slightly harder work than all the IFR stuff because there's a lot of information to get across. So, straight ahead to Manchester. Manchester Tower, Bristol, Luton, London City. We could go to East Midlands. It's a little bit closer. They definitely do touch and goes there. Although Manchester does have 2 runways. Let's see how busy Manchester is. Let's sort that height out first with a little touch of trim. Oh, did I not? I tell you what I didn't do. Didn't need Squawk 7000. There we go. What's going on? So, like I say, have a look at Cap 413 for the phraseology. The en route stuff is relatively easy. Call sign type, departure point, destination, where you are, how high you are, and flight rules, where you're going, additional information like that, and what type of service you require. Basic traffic, those are the VFR services. There's deconfliction, which is radar for IMC or IFR, and procedural for where there is no radar service. They separate you based on time and position reports. For instance, if you were doing a procedural service into an airfield. So those are the 2 types of service outside controlled airspace. Got this nice ridge out to our left. MSA wise, we haven't checked anything. But it is severe cav okay. One thing I will do is tune up the Manchester ATIS 121975, which we've already got. Let's get back on heading. VGL99 changing en route. Have a great day.
Altimeter setting.
So let's listen to Manchester. We should pick it up from here. Won't call until we get a bit closer.
Okay, descent velocity 3,000 feet, I think. Descent to flight level 3,000. 3,000 feet, correct now.
Fair play to him. Right, let's get the ATIS. We'll get some VRPs as well, which are hard work. Mike! Oh god, that's a headache, that'll do. So 1030, it's not going to change a huge amount. So 05 left, we're going to ask for 05 right, I think, if we are going to be doing touch and goes. So let's change that to Echo Golf Charlie Charlie. And we'll see which runway we get given. 006, airplane steady, a little bit quick. Hi from France, hello. Bonjour, I should say. Thanks for joining. Because this is just a direct to, like we've had a diversion. Manchester was my filed alternate anyway. Or I don't have anything to show you guys, but what I do have is it's simply a direct to leg, so it's just a heading and a time. Yeah, enjoy, have some fun. You come to Manchester, it might be busy. So yeah, on our way to Manchester. Hey, and we are tracking straight towards it. Really, you can see that we're getting a bit of wind off from the right, so we've got some drift. So I'm not going to keep using that to cheat. But you can see that heading and stopwatch does in fact work if I do in fact maintain heading and height. So let me just have a look and see how busy they are at Manchester. Oh no, that's East Mids. So arrivals 21. Okay, so they're not too busy. I think they can probably fit us in. So this will be fun. I'm going to assume it's a left-hand circuit for 05 left. I'm also going to assume that they don't really want us on that runway doing it. I have seen it done on 05 right, so I'm going to go for 05 right. And we're going to plumb that one straight up there, get it on the legs. We will do a 4-mile ring, we will do a 10-mile ring for situational awareness, and then I will just in a moment work out what the headings are from the chart, and it's just a case of breaking down little tasks like that into doing single things at a time whilst trying to keep the aeroplane straight and level. So this has all been hand flown. If you haven't been watching from the start, I have not touched the autopilot once, and we've navigated from Stansted to Henlow, to Gloucester, to Cardiff. We did a touch and go at Cardiff. We did a very sketchily flown initials join at Bristol. We did a pretty sketchy touch and go at Bristol. We exited and we went direct on a beeline straight to Manchester. So Wolverhampton Airport, somewhere I haven't been yet but I want to go, is about 2 minutes ahead and should be just to the right of track. We're just about maintaining level flight. We are about halfway between here and Manchester, so in about 10 or 12 minutes we will get to Manchester. So let's get the chart for Manchester up. So 052 is the runway heading. Whoa, let's not have the airplane drift off that far. So 052, which means it's 232 downwind, which I'm just going to set there. And Wolverhampton, that looks like an airfield to me, doesn't it? Wolverhampton Airport, somewhere I've been, want to go to. Cosford should be just on the nose, again somewhere I haven't been just yet. I think I can just see it there. So let's get back on track. And if we did 052 is going to be 142 plus 90 degrees, isn't it? So 142, that gives us a downwind point, a beam for our runway. So I'm happy to leave that on there. We can update our landing speeds based on the fuel we've burnt. 006, good enough. That does look like Cosford. just on the nose, which is where we want to be. So the RAF Museum has another museum there, one single runway and a bit of grass and a bit of disused. That is Cosford, so I certainly was planning this year on going there. I think they also have a flight sim show at Cosford, so I don't know if you guys have ever been to any of those. I haven't, but it would be quite fun to fly into a flight sim show. It's on the list, but I guess none of that's going to happen this year. So I think we are about 10 minutes away from the zone for Manchester. Let's give them a call, see what they say. Manchester radar, good afternoon, Prefect 99.
Manchester radar is now closed.
Oh, 18625. So let's get them tuned up. Oh, 18625. And the other Manchester tower, 119.4. So let's get back on heading and height. There is Cosford. So we'll just have a look at that first. So the RAF School of Technical Training is at Cosford. And one big runway, that's what it looks like, and the RAF Museum up here. As you can see from those buildings, the scenery isn't correct, but certainly that is, you can see some old jets stuck outside. Cool. And if you guys have got any questions, please feel free to ask. Dear. Oh dear. I hope that's not a physical crash, I hope that's a simulator crash. It's going to be fun. Manchester Tower, good afternoon, Prefect 99 basic service. Okay. Well, don't make me stand by too long. We are rushing our way in. Yeah, I think he's going to be back in a bit. So let's get ourselves sort of prepped. All the pumps are on. Let's run anyway. Cav is secured. Ooh, that's definitely not me. Didn't do anything there. Prefect 99, 737-800. We are Bristol to Manchester. Flight level 035. Request join from the south.
Altimeter setting.
Clear 25 Homes, Chapel VRP, not above altitude 2,500 feet on the Manchester QNH 1030, squawk 7350, Prefect 99. Circuits, please.
Oh, hello, good afternoon. People to private service on island to the person 05 left. 235 Manchester
runway, make a visual 605 right, contact tower 119 and F44.
Roger, going around ET35.
ET35, Roger, when you come on to decimal 8, and then it's 05 right on that.
So, insert. We want to track a little bit to the left to get to Holmes Chapel. Whoa, what has gone on there? Jeez. This is not me. Wonder if that's the weather just screwing itself up. Circuits please, Prefect 99. Wilco, Prefect 99. So we're cleared into the zone, and that's only about 4 minutes to run. And I'm just going direct to it, cheating. The wind is all over the place. Look at that rate of descent. So that should pretty much take us in. We have updated our speed. You can see that the wind is all over the place. So let's start bringing it back. Just sort of hover around the 200 to 220. I've got the other tower set up, which is grand. And it's so I think it's ooh.
$2,500.
So I think 3, 2, 2. There we go. That's our base. So 2 miles, sorry, 2 minutes to run to the VRP. God, look at this, it's literally all over the place.
Yes, I'm with you. You're on the skipper. Can you take out the box response for the phone? Yes, of course.
It's turning into hard work all of a sudden.
Well, Alpha, Oxford 1, line out from the 05 to the left. With 0 on the
So just under 2 minutes to run. We are following the M6, and Holmes Chapel is the M6 and a railway line that cross just ahead. Oh, hello. Weather is all over the place, so I think this is Holmes Chapel just here. We're looking for a railway line. What's going on? Shut up, don't need that. What I do need is to get a bit of control over the aeroplane. Prefect 99 overhead at Holmes Chapel.
Prefect 99, contact Tower 5119 before he'll get you a beach on the second turn there.
Tower 119 decimal 4, thanks for the service, Prefect 99. Manchester Tower, good afternoon, Prefect 99 overhead Holmes Chapel VRP.
Prefect 99, Tower, good afternoon, any vision of the field?
Negative, Prefect 99. might just be in the way.
Roger, you reach towards the field, currently in your 1 o'clock range on 1.6 miles. Report field front, expect right base joint runway today 55.
Wilco, expect right base 05 right, prefect 99.
Prefect 99, have your circuit clear whenever you're ready to copy.
And we are ready to copy, prefect 99.
Prefect 99, after the touch and go, you'll clear the right hand visual circuit, runway today 5 right, knots of altitude 2,000 feet, VFR, QNH 1030, squawk 7010.
So after the touch and go, enter right hand visual circuit 05 right, not above altitude 2,000 feet, QNH 1030, squawk 7010, prefect 99.
Prefect 99.
God, that was a lot to get out. Aircraft. Yes, this is VATSIM, and so yes we can. So I'm set up. He's going to want us in for a right base. We want to be within about 4 miles. We want to start slowing down. I don't want this because that sort of detracts and takes away from the whole visual aspect. He wants us to squawk 7010. There is the aeroplane. So we want to be not above 2,000 feet. What is the elevation at Manchester? Aerodrome elevation. It's 257, so that's going to give us 1750, so we can go down to about 1800. Prefect 99 visual with field.
Prefect 99, roger, report right base, runway today 90.
Wilco, prefect 99. And we are going to be pretty tight right base.
Report right base, runway today 50.
We'll report right base, prefect 99. So this may be a low approach to go around. Use a little bit of speed brake. And that's a pretty messy join. Prefect 99 right base, 05 right for low approach.
Bank angle. Bank angle.
Prefect 99, report
Final prefect 99. I don't think he's impressed. So we're just going to have to go straight into the circuit from here because I messed that joint up pretty royally. As you can see, there is no way we are going to make that.
1,000.
Prefect 99, right, right, low approach, report going around.
Too low, terrain. Too low.
Clear the approach, we'll go
Approaching
prefect 99.
05 right.
Think rate.
Flaps, flaps.
Think rate.
So that will all stop in a moment.
Think rate. Too low, terrain.
400.
Too low,
And that'll get us
terrain.
into the circuit anyway.
Too low, terrain. Too low, terrain.
Prefect 99 going
Too
around.
low,
300.
terrain. Too low, terrain.
Wilco, prefect 99.
Too low, terrain. Too low.
So we've got
terrain.
all this energy, the throttles are going to
Terrain.
stay at
Too
idle.
low, terrain. Too
What
low,
on earth?
terrain. Too low, terrain. Too low, terrain.
Have we broken the gear? I'm going to have to check that in a moment. No, so the gear is up. That's cool. So we can go flap 5. 1800 is what we want. Little bit sketchy, very sketchy. I'm sure I checked the gear. I don't know if I must have. Did I hit that earlier? Shouldn't have done. Bad whoever blames his controller. So we need to be a little bit lower than that. And the wind is all over the place. So, no downwind is 232. Let's get that set. Really struggling here to maintain height. So there is our track. Got high, downwind. Let's get the aeroplane stable. Not a textbook approach. Prefect 99, downwind, right hand, 05, right, touch and go. Okay, Prefect 99. So let's just lose a bit of that altitude, get the aeroplane settled down. You can see that the wind is bumping us around all over the place. A lot easier to fill in the real aeroplane. And I don't know if you managed to spot, there were some airplanes on the ground. It's quite good. It just doesn't seem as busy. So tailwind. Let's start that 1500 feet. So we'll knock 5 off for the tailwind. So 25 and 40. At 25 seconds we will configure gear down flap 15, and at 40 seconds flap 25 start our descending right turn to the runway. All over the place. So 25, gear down, flap 15, shouldn't have to do much with the throttle, the speed should gradually come back. Just maintain that height, maintain the heading as best you can. And at 40 seconds, start that descending right hand turn, flap 25, and then you should be on VAP, which I've set to plus 10, because I'm not quite sure what the wind is doing. That might be a bit quick, but we've got quite a lot of runway. So you see the speed dropped off with the wind there. You see how slow the engines are to respond to that. But I do need to get the aeroplane coming down. With any luck, so using that centre line just as a little cheat, I'm not using the VNav guide. You should end up rolling out on a nice 3-mile final. Let's keep the aeroplane coming down. We might be a little bit high. That factory's a pretty good final aiming point. So we are high, let's go flap 30, Prefect 99 final, 05 right, touch and go.
1000.
Clear touch and go, 05 right, Prefect 99. So that's going to be a little bit quick, so let's bring the V approach back to 140, although it doesn't feel like it's only 7 knots. Feels like it's a bit gusty, but maybe that's the variability. So still a bit high, can bin it if we need to.
Approaching 05
high terrain closure. There's one coming in, so nail the attitude, he says. So oil brake off, gear down 3 green, flaps, landing flaps set, start switch is continuous.
500.
Course checked and we are cleared to land.
400.
Bit of a sink rate there.
300.
Going to fight with the aeroplane in a surprising amount. Doesn't feel like 7 knots, but you see how variable it is, and I think active sky adds a bit of turbulence to that. So let's go 145 minimum.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
So there we are, touching down. Come on, down we go. It's alright, stand the throttles up. Flap 15, travelling, reset the trim. Keeping the airplane straight with rudder, easier said than done. Flap set, go.
5,000 feet remaining.
Rotate. Positive rate.
Too low.
Gear up.
Too low. Gear. Too low. Gear. Too low. Gear.
400.
Too low.
Flap
Gear.
5.
Too low. Gear. Too low. Gear.
Start climbing turn there. And we want to bring the power back just a little. Don't need a stonking rate of climb.
$1,000.
We need a slightly tighter turn because of the wind. So try and get 25 degrees, a bit steep for a climbing turn, but fun. I'll just gradually check the chat every now and then. I'll try my best to fly the airplane. Roger, looking, prefect 99. So there we are, pretty much levelled off. Getting the hang of it now. But the wind is not playing. Going to maintain flap 5 through the throughout the circuit. Try and maintain that height. Airplane settled down. It should be in trim. Prefect 99 downwind, touch and go 05 right.
Prefect 99, Roger, report final runway 05 right, number 1.
Wilco, Prefect 99. So that gives us just enough time to start and stop. Start and stop the stopwatch. No. There, downwind a beam. So again, that 25 and 40 seconds worked out quite well with the wind. Hello, thanks for joining. This is not what I would say is an ideal circuit tutorial because the active sky injected wind is pretty turbulent just because of the variability, but I'm not convinced it would be this turbulent in real life. So the flying is most certainly not by the numbers. 25 seconds, gear down, flap 15. Let's maintain that height. Speed should start to come back. 40 seconds, going to start our descending turn. Select flap 25. Now we're going to use 20 degrees because this, oh no, the wind has swung round now, so we'll just see how we get on, and we're actually climbing, which is not what we want. And we don't want to go below 145 knots either. So it should be about 500 feet a minute descending turn, which is about there. You need quite a bit of back pressure to maintain that, which is easier said than done. Try and use the visual landmarks. Whatever this town is that we keep flying over seems to be working quite well. PC specs, they should be in the description if you want to know any more. Ask me. I would say at a phase of flight that is not particularly busy, but seeing as I've been hand flying this for, I don't know, probably about an hour and a half, it's all been a bit busy. That terrain closure rate is particularly high. We're just looking for the pappies now, which we look like we're on, so flap 30.
1,000.
That doesn't look too bad. That's probably the best circuit today. Clear touch and go 05 right, prefect 99. I think I might call it a day after this. I don't know how long I've been flying, but a bit high and a bit fast. It's been a bit of a challenge.
05 right.
So there we go. Getting that aiming point, which is those thicker white bars that are made up of 6 markings, about halfway up the canopy. Looking at the pappies, making sure that we are roughly on those. We're a little bit quick, so just reducing the throttle a little bit. It's a very long runway though, so we can get away with some excess speed. And you can see there's a little bit of gustiness and we're a bit low.
300.
Now technically that would have been a go around if you experienced that
200.
on a revenue flight, because we had over 1,000 feet a minute sync rate.
100. 50. 40. 30.
Check.
20.
Close. Hold. It's going to be a little bit long. Ooh, thump. Standing up. Flap travelling. Trims reset. 15. Go.
5,000 feet remaining. 4,000 remaining.
To about 15 degrees. There's a positive rate. Gear up.
Gear. Too low. Gear.
400.
Flap 5.
Too low. Gear.
Climbing turn. bring that rate of climb back. Because obviously the
1,000.
aeroplane is empty, and although we've still got 4, 8, 10 tons of fuel, it's still relatively light. So quite a lot of excess power in this configuration. So about 200 feet before altitude, start thinking about leveling off and bringing the power back at the same time. I'm doing the power a little bit late compared to normal because it seems to just be drifting off with the wind. It's much easier on a calmer day. I don't think it's not gusty, but active sky models the winds when it's variable as gusty. Extend downwind 5 mile final, prefect 99. Looking, prefect 99. There's a little spam can. So that's us downwind. That's not him over there, is it? Is he left base? Anyway, that's us in the circuit pretty nicely. So that's our 4 mile ring. He wants us a 5 mile final, so we're not going to do any descending. We're not going to do it on time. We are just going to get down there and then line up. Oh, 1 gig, yeah, I really think you can't, I think you'll struggle to use X-Plane with a GPU like that. Anyway, I think I'm going to call it a day after this. I'm knackered. So we've gone from Stansted, overhead Henlow, out to Gloucester, down to Cardiff, touch and go at Cardiff, touch and go at Bristol, and then we've come to Manchester to do some circuits, and I think I might just do a line flight a bit later. I kind of want to do it before dinner, maybe I'll have a late dinner, and just to enjoy the Ortho really, although it's a little bit patchy around here, but it's still alright. So we can estimate a 5 mile final. But anyway, I can't see how this was particularly fun for you guys. It was an absolutely tragic start, and it's been a bit ropey ever since. But I'll tell you what you do need to do is get some hand flying practice in this jet because it is fun. It is hard work. I might try and do an IFR. I might try and do an IFR flight by hand. That would be manic. So let's turn final here. Level final turn. He says. And I am deliberately keeping the airplane just a little bit fast because I think that speed's going to drop off. So because we are landing, we are going to set prefect 99, turning finals, 5 miles, land.
Prefect 99, 5 right, first land, 0903310.
Clear land 05, right, prefect 99. There we go, there's the speed, massive drop. So we'll configure as normal now, so 4 miles, gear down, flap 15, which is standard line configuration. We do need to get the speed back though and maintain that height, so we are a little bit low. We have been cleared to land, speed brake armed, auto brake set, holding on the landing flap, lining up visually, badly. So it just goes to show you can fly the aeroplane. Not spectacularly well, don't use me as an example. Let's get the gear down, get the speed coming back. But it certainly is possible. I'd love for some force feedback. I think this aeroplane would be it would be a lot easier to control with some feedback. So let's go flap 15. A little bit high. Try and figure out how to taxi at this place.
1,000.
So aeroplane is not quite yet stable. Gear down 3 green, holding on the landing flap. Good, got him. So we should be a little bit quicker than this. Get a bit more power. Let's go flap
Approaching
25.
05
And we want a
right.
stable landing flap at 500. So flap 30. A little bit low. Need a bit of power there. See that wind pushing us. Same technique, aiming point. So your rate of descent is controlled by pitch, keeping the aiming point steady. And speed is controlled with power, which is a little bit inefficient on a day like this. I honestly don't think it is this bad in reality. That sync rate, again, like I've said, is too high.
300.
So, a bit of a challenging day.
200.
Got there in the end, a little bit high. Just maintain that
100.
rate.
50. 40. 30.
Check.
20.
Close. Hold the attitude. Fly the aeroplane onto the deck. That was a
Long
bit floaty.
landing. Long
Down we go.
landing. 7,000
reverse is deployed.
feet
Spoilers are up.
remaining.
So we're short of stopping. Closed.
80 knots.
Reverses. Manual braking. We should be able to make the first high-speed exit. Welcome to Manchester. Would have been a lot quicker if we'd just flown in a straight line. Prefect 99 vacated 05 right. It's an hour and 50 hand fly.
Thanks. Continue taxi, hold down to Zulu 1.
Continue taxi, hold Delta Zulu 1, Prefect 99. So we'll clean the aeroplane up.
You have a preferred site for parking?
Negative, Prefect 99.
99, roger.
So Delta Zulu I think is the second left.
Prefect 99, you can contact the tower now. 118.625, good afternoon.
Tower 11865, thanks very much for the circuit. See you again later, Prefect 99. Let's get the airplane cleaned up. Tower Prefect 99 vacated 05 right, taxiing Delta Zulu, hold Delta Zulu 1.
Prefect 99 Manchester Tower, hello via Delta Zulu 1, cross 05 left, confirmation just cut the ground 12185, hello.
Via Delta Zulu 1, cross 05 left, and once vacated ground 121.85. Thanks very much for the service, Prefect 99.
Have a good evening.
Ooh, after landing checks. Are we stopping? Have I broken something? Or is it just me? Looks alright. Now does this do the last landing? Anyway, this is Delta Zulu 1. 12185 is who they want us to speak to. Let's get on the brakes. Just to slow down a little bit. We have been cleared to cross. I'm going to pop the strobes on. And I am going to pop the transponder back on. Well, you need two people. Don't see anyone.
Approaching 23 right.
No one there. No crazy people coming back. Manchester ground, Prefect 99 holding Kilo 3. Maybe it isn't. Pepper 1.
Last station, Callsign again.
Prefect 99.
Yeah. Prefect 99. Do you have any stand of your choice?
Negative, just whatever is easiest, prefect 99.
Okay, taxi to stand 15 via Bravo.
Stand 15 via Papa and Bravo, prefect 99, thanks. Let's get the APU on.
Ground Ethiopian 2243 request taxi.
So Papa, right Bravo, and then 15 is over here.
Taxi holding point Alpha 1.
Have I forgotten anything? Trim? Yep.
Lima, Papa, Bravo and Alpha. Alpha 1, runway 05 left via Lima, Papa, Bravo, Alpha, Ethiopia.
Oh no, that's stand 12. Oh dear, I could get this wrong. Definitely told us to go via Bravo.
05 left and from Juliet. Station Vulkan again. This is Ryanair. Okay, Ryanair 69, Papa. What was...
Definitely Bravo.
What was... Sorry, repeat again. Just suggesting clear taxi to 05 left.
Okay, 15 is just round here on the left, cool. Oh, it's the same rubbish one we had yesterday.
Alpha 1, Juliet Kilo, Bravo and Alpha 6, and above the Fox, thanks.
Sounds like he's in a helicopter. So, correct stand, no guidance. I think keep giving us the rubbish stand. After some of those beautiful circuits. So we can get the taxi light off so we don't blind the guy. Oh no, I remember you could barely see the guy. He's just in the wrong place.
Ethiopian 2243 is following the traffic from the right. Confirm? Last support time. Ethiopian 2243 is following the coming traffic.
That'll do. So, 2 blues,
okay.
1 red. 2 hours 10 minutes after leaving standstill. Engines dead. Guys, thanks very much for joining. I've just muted the ATC, I can still hear it, but welcome to Manchester after what was a very eventful trip. I will post that log on Facebook and wherever else I can find it. Actually, if you want to have a look, I should try and probably remember to pop it in these if I can. As always, thanks very much for joining. If you haven't subscribed and you want to see some more, then please do. Let's get the old light off because we're below 20%. Let's get our pretend crew away and get the APU off. Yeah, please sub if you haven't already. And I'll try and give you advance notice, but it's been a bit sort of short notice recently. But here we are, stand 15. I think we could have done with going a bit further forward there. So yeah, just as always, thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I say, it wasn't a tutorial. There was a lot of sketchy flying there. I'm sure there are plenty more people that can show you better performed checks and better flown, but for an hour and 50 minutes of hand flying a 7.3, I think it wasn't too bad. So hopefully I'll be flying again later, a normal line flight from Manchester, and I don't know where we'll be going yet, but I like to try and keep the sectors relatively short so they're not too boring. If you can pop up with any questions you might have while we're loading, that's a good time to do it. And until then, I look forward to seeing you all again soon. Thanks very much for watching. Take care, stay safe, and hopefully see you again later. Bye bye for now.